Hi, my name is Laramie Walt, and I'm a senior biology student at the University of Arkansas. The artwork I chose to research is located at Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Bentonville, Arkansas. This museum contains artwork from only American artists through several artistic movements throughout history. The piece I've chosen to study is called Motive of Space and Form, a New Jersey Village. It was painted by Oskar Blumner in 1915. Oskar was a German immigrant who was given a one-man exhibition at the 291 Gallery of Alfred Stieglitz after his artwork was exhibited in the Armory Show of 1913, according to the Phillips Collection. Blumner was influenced heavily by Cubism and American Synchronism. He used many bright and bold colors with very thick and heavy brushstrokes. Those designs were minimalist and not very ornate. The scenery in this painting is of industrial buildings in New Jersey, which is very typical of Blumner's paintings. The piece was done post-World War II in the American Modernist era. It was an important piece of that era because it embodies the brilliant colors and use of geometric patterns that were so frequently found during that time period, which can be seen in this photo of a Georgia O'Keeffe painting. Influenced by artists such as Pablo Picasso and Paul Cézanne, Blumner used brilliant hues of reds and blues and greens and drew many geometric closed shapes. He created depth and linear perspective by using shadows and darker coloration rather than using three-dimensional shapes. His shapes were used to evoke emotion, such as squares representing stability, and he generally used deeper and darker hues of colors for his landscapes and buildings. The American Modernist era was from 1910 to 1950. Many artists from this period looked to nature for inspiration, transforming it with their own artistic visions. Many have traditional modern European artistic training, but were challenged to use their imagination when approaching their nature in art. Another work from this time period is Signs by Max Weber. Weber also took an abstract approach to his subjects, but he drew more people than buildings and landscapes. He evoked his emotions through the coloration of the people and the sketchiness of the lines rather than the shapes and hues that Blumner used. He also used shading the same way Blumner did in order to create dimension rather than actually using three-dimensional objects. Weber's painting is much more political than the cityscape that you see in many of Blumner's paintings. I chose to compare Blumner's paintings to Signs by Weber because they show the progression of American modernism from being focused mainly on an artistic twist on nature or environment to being more focused on the political aspect of society. I chose to research Blumner's painting because the colors he uses are so brilliant, his shapes are so abstract and obscure, but they still are prevalent enough to evoke emotion from the viewer. Blumner was a pioneer in the style of abstract art, and hey, it's American art. It's something to be proud of.